Did you know that simply converting images from RGB to CMYK isn't enough to achieve high-quality prints? In this video, I'll reveal the secrets to perfect image preparation for offset printing. Hi, I'm Tanya, an editorial designer, and I've been working for a monthly business magazine since 2021. Each month, I prepare about 100 images for offset printing, and I'd like to share my preparation process with you. So, there are 3 key points in image preparation. The resolution is 300 dpi, the color model is CMYK, and the total ink limit is no more than 300%. It might sound simple, just take an image, change the DPI and color model, and you're done. You might think you don't even need to worry about the total ink limit, but no, no, and no. In offset printing, there are issues beyond the designer's control. For instance, ink smudging, paper warping, drying problems, and similar issues. These issues are up to the print shop to fix. But there are also things we can control, like the total ink limit, color accuracy, and how much the ink spreads on paper. Here is a file with 6 different images. I intentionally selected challenging images for printing to demonstrate how to handle them. Usually, most pictures don't require complex editing and color correction, but I want to make this video as useful as possible. Let's take a look at the link panel. Go to Window, Links. As you can see, mine is customized. I can see status, page, color space, actual PPI, and effective PPI. I need to convert all the images to CMYK and ensure that both actual PPI and effective PPI are 300. To clarify, PPI stands for pixel per inch and is a digital resolution, while DPI refers to dots per inch and it's a print resolution. So 300 ppi equals 300 dpi. The actual ppi is the real resolution of the image, while the effective ppi shows how the image fits within the frame. Here you can see this image is reduced to 56% of its real size, and if I switch it to 100, we'll see the actual size of the image. And it's important to set it to 100% for the frame size. Why? Because of the final file size. Let's check the export settings. For this video, I'll choose just press quality, but I have here ready for prints presets, and this one for the magazine I work for. So choose press quality, and one thing I want to change here is compression from JPEG to zip for each image type, and it will increase the final file size. But you should always choose zip for your images because it's lossless. JPEG lowers image quality by removing some details, which can make prints look less sharp and clear. And yes, file will be bigger, but you won't lose any quality. My final file with these 6 images will be around 100 megabytes. Now just imagine the file size of 100 images in their original size with zip compression. It would be too big for printers to handle. Now back to the link panel. Sometimes you might get images already in CMYK, like this one. Ensure you check the total ink limit. Go to Windows, Output, Separation Preview. Here you need to choose ink limit and 300%, and you might see the red zones like on this image. They indicating that the ink limit is over 300%. Here it is 340% and I need to fix it. To make sure my CMYK files don't exceed the 300 ink limit, I use the ISO coated 300% color profile. I have this profile installed everywhere as my working profile, and I recommend you to do the same. It's a common CMYK profile used in the print industry for high-quality prints on coated paper. I'll leave a link in the description for this profile, or you can search for it online. Now let's talk about colors. As you know, RGB can show a wider range of colors, especially bright and saturated tones that aren't available in CMYK, like these images. And then converting an image from RGB to CMYK, some colors might be lost, potentially affecting the image details. And we need to make sure it doesn't happen. So before I start, I created 3 folders: RGB PSD, Lab PSD, and CMYK PSD, and I need these 3 folders for 3 steps of image preparation, so that I can return to any step and make changes if needed. Go to the first image, Right-click, Edit with Photoshop. To see how this image will look in print, I go to View and ensure that Proof Setup is set to work in CMYK. As you remember, I have the 300% color profile. So to change to Print View, I need to click Command Y. It's called Proof Colors. And by switching view, you can see which colors will be lost in print. And this image is losing a lot of red, along with some details. And I accept that I can't achieve such saturated colors in print, but I can't afford to lose image details. So I focus on preserving them. To save the details in one color, I need to add the opposite color. It means that for the red colors, I need to increase cyan. And for that, I create a selective color layer. And here I can choose between relative and absolute settings. Relative adjustment adds ink in percentages to the existing ink. So where cyan is already present, the amount will increase, but if cyan is at 0 in some areas, there won't be any effect there. And the absolute adjustment adds a percentage of ink across the entire red surface, even in areas when cyan was originally at 0. So I choose absolute and increase cyan for red colors. And by switching views, I can see that nothing changes. Yeah, the red is a bit darker now, but the important thing is that the details are retained and the overall image looks natural, and I can make it a bit brighter by using curves. Just a little. And I'll check the proof color view again. I see the bright green is missing from the leaf, but it's not a big deal, so I just leave it. And the next step is the size of the image. I go back to InDesign and copy the frame size to the Photoshop crop tool. And I switch it because I rotated an image in InDesign. Now I apply the crop and go to image size. The resolution is fine, so I just change the image size and press OK. Now that the image is ready, I'll create an action to apply the same steps to all images, and to save my time, of course. You can find the actions here. And this action would be for sharpening. I sharpen the image a lot. In offset printing, this is a crucial step in image preparation, as ink spreads on paper, making images look more blurry than on screen. And sharpening helps compensate for this. I'll sharpen 2 steps, in the lightness channel for lab color and in the black channel for CMYK color. So I create a new action. I'll name it sharpen, and press record. Now all my actions on record. First, I'll save the image with all layers in PSD format in the RGB PSD folder. Here. Next, I convert the image to lab color and flatten all the layers. I'll need 2 copies of the image, one for CMYK and one for lab, and I set the first copy to display only in lightness channel. And I hide the second for now. Now go to channels, choose lightness, and apply Unsharp mask. Filter, sharpen, Unsharp mask. I set the amount to 100% and the radius 3 pixels. Press OK and save this file in lab PSD folder. Now I convert the image to CMYK color without flattening the layers. I enable the second copy and set it to display only in black channel. Now I go to channels and choose black. Filters, sharpen, Unsharp mask. And for black channel, I'll set the amount to 300% and just 1 pixel for radius. Press OK. Save this file in the CMYK PSD folder. And close the image. Press stop recording and my action is ready. The next image is so vibrant and the photo saturation is high, so by switching the views, I'll see the big difference, especially on this leaf. And first I want to reduce the saturation to make colors look more natural. Also, the shadow seems quite dark, so I'll lighten the image using curves. I'll check the RGB and CMYK views. Now it's much better. Oh, you can also enable the gamut warning. And now you can see colors outside the CMYK range. These gray areas show these colors. I'll disable the adjustment layer so you can see the difference. And this is a lot of gray areas. So next I create the selective color layer. Go to green colors and add a bit of magenta. Just a little. And this reduces the gray areas. I think I need to go to yellow colors and increase a bit black and magenta. And this almost removes the gray areas. Next I'll crop the image to fit the frame size. Go to InDesign and copy height. Apply crop and go to image size. Now see the resolution is set to pixel per centimeter, but it should be pixel per inch. So I need to uncheck resample to see how the image size changes at different resolution values. And the image is still big enough, so I can just resize it for my frame size. Okay, and now I apply my action to sharpen this image. And the image is now saved at each step in the appropriate folders. RGB, Lab, and CMYK. And the next image is also quite far from reality. Such a blue color can be achieved in offset printing, so I'll focus on details and overall impression. I apply selective color adjustment, choose blue colors, and increase yellow and magenta. Let's change the view, and it became quite dark, so now I want to increase the brightness to make the photo closer to original. I'll use the curves. Okay, now I'll crop the image and change the size. Oh, the resolution is slightly lower, so I unchecked resample, change the resolution, and I see that the image is still quite large, so I can resize it to fit the frame. Okay. And I'll apply the sharpen action. Now I open in the cat image. Remember, this image has exceeded the ink limit. In Photoshop we can check this in the info panel. You can choose here whatever you wanted to see. As you can see, it's 340. So there are several ways to correct this. The simplest method is to convert the image to lab and then back to CMYK. And because of my profile, the ink coverage is now 299.98. Or there is another option, is to use selective colors. Oh, to avoid affecting the cat, I go to the channels first and hold Command while clicking on the black channel. This creates a selection. And now I create selective color with the black channel mask applied. I press Command I to invert the mask and then reduce cyan, magenta and yellow for black colors. And now the ink limit is below 300%. It's 250 and that's it. And the cat looks great. I crop the image. Reduce its size and apply the sharpen action. opening next image, and it appears quite muted and dusty. This can be fixed using curves and black point settings. Black points make sure the black in your image is as dark and rich as it can be. This helps keep strong contrast and detailed dark areas. I create a new adjustment layer, and by holding Option, I move the black slider to the left until the details of the photo begin to appear. I also want to brighten the photo. Now it's much better. There is no color loss, so I just apply sharpen. And finally the last image. This image is quite dark, so first I want to lighten it, especially in dark areas, to ensure the details don't get lost in the shadows during printing. But I don't want to affect the sky, so I create a mask by using channels. Go to channels. I see the strongest contrast between sky and dark details in the red channel, so by holding Command I create a selection based on it and then create adjustment layer. Now I press Command I to invert the mask and increase the lightness just a little. To make sure that I see the details. Now I change the view and I see that I need to fix these yellow parts of the sky, so I create selective color, choose yellow colors and increase cyan and magenta. Now I go to reds and also increase cyan. Now I don't want to affect the rest of the sky, so I'll use the mask. And that's it. And now it looks good. Next I'll crop the image to fit the frame. And I'll apply the sharpen action. Now that all my images are ready, I review them once more after sharpening to ensure everything is correct. I already have an idea of which images might need additional adjustment, and this is the one. It's quite dark background and dark objects on it, so you can see this little halo around dark objects. Don't be confused by this. It appears when sharpening the black channel. Since we've only sharpened the black channel and left the CMYK channels untouched, they will blend with this white halo, giving a soft glow to the dark objects, because it's just in black channel. I just want to reduce the opacity to 50% for lap layer to make the halo less intense, and that's it. I'll save it and close. And this one looks good, and this one too, and this, and this, and this one too. And now I move on the final stage, saving the files for print. I create a new folder named CMYK print. And I'll open one image to record a new action. I'll name it CMYK print. Press record, and all I need to do is flatten all layers and save this file in TIFF format in CMYK print folder. Save. Here I choose zip for image compression, and if image have transparency, you need to check this box too. Okay, by the way, the final images for printing always need to be saved in TIFF, as it's lossless format and supports transparency. Now I close the file and stop recording. And here is my action. Now I go to File, Automate and Batch. Here is my action for saving CMYK print files. I choose source folder, which is CMYK PSD, and I create the error file, just in case. Now I choose the destination folder, which is CMYK print, and press OK. and all my ready for print photos are here. I go back to InDesign and I just need to replace the photos. Usually I press Command D and update the images one by one. And this is because during layout I use photos from various sources, often previews from photo stocks or even screenshots. So the working files and final ones usually have different names. But this time I'm lucky and all my prepared images have the same names as those in the layout. So I just select all images, go to Menu, Utilities, and copy links to my CMYK print folder. Oh, and I can see that I forgot to change the resolution for this file. Now I can go back to RGB PSD files. I need to crop it. Change the size. The resolution is 72, so I uncheck Resample, change it to 300, resample back. The image is still large, so I just resize it. Okay. And I press Sharpen. And now I go to CMYK PSD, choose the image and my second action. And that's it. Now I can just update this image. So I just need to fit frame proportionally, and for this I have a script. Voila! All files are now CMYK. Oh, and here is one more mistake. The effective PPI is not 300, so I go to the image, open image size, and I see that I forgot to change width and height, so I just copy it from InDesign and press OK. Now I apply Sharpen again, go back to CMYK PSD file, reduce the opacity for lap layer, and click CMYK print action. Update this file, and that's it. So you can see now why I have all these folders. If I made a mistake, I can quickly fix it. Now let's save the file for print. Export, print. I choose press quality. I change compression to zip. And of course I need to use document bleed settings. And press export. And my file is ready, and I check the file size, and it's 81 megabytes. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, around 100 megabytes. And that's it. This is how I prepare all images for offset printing to ensure they always look great. By the way, the black and white images need special preparation. And if that's irrelevant to you, check out my other video where I walk you through how to avoid color shifts in black and white printing and get a great results. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to hit subscribe, ask any questions in the comments, and I'll see you next time.